Raw versus cooked rice in soil microbe trick that transforms your garden in days. Welcome back to Soilpower. If you've been following my journey, you already know I'm obsessed with finding simple, affordable, and powerful ways to boost soil health naturally. Today, we're diving into a little-known trick that's been creating a buzz among gardeners, using rice, both raw and cooked, to supercharge soil microbes and transform your garden in days, not months. This isn't just another quick fix tip. I've tested it myself, and the results are nothing short of amazing. Let's unpack what makes rice such a game changer, how microbes respond differently to raw versus cooked rice, and most importantly, how you can put this trick into action to see rapid improvements in your own soil. Before we get into the rice debate, let's remind ourselves why microbes are the heart and soul of any thriving garden. Soil microbes, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and earthworms are nature's tiny workers. They break down organic matter, release nutrients, build soil structure, and help plants resist diseases. If you've ever wondered why some gardens just explode with growth while others struggle, the difference often comes down to microbial life. Chemical fertilizers can give a short-term boost, but without microbes, your soil becomes lifeless over time. The real secret? Feed the soil life, and the soil life will feed your plants. That's where rice steps in. Rice, whether raw or cooked, is loaded with starch, a form of carbohydrate that soil microbes absolutely love. When you introduce rice into the soil, you're essentially throwing a feast for bacteria and fungi. The starch acts like quick energy, fueling microbial explosions that kickstart decomposition, nutrient cycling, and worm activity. The real debate comes down to this. Should you use raw rice or is cooked rice the better option? The answer isn't as simple as picking one, because each one interacts with the soil differently. Let's break it down. When you bury raw rice in soil, the starches are locked up in a harder form. Microbes can still break it down, but it takes more time. Think of it like a slow-release fertilizer. Raw rice feeds soil microbes gradually, giving you long-lasting benefits that stretch over weeks or even months. Raw rice also helps condition the soil. As it breaks down, it attracts fungi and bacteria, creating a balanced microbial ecosystem. This slower process is perfect if you want a steady supply of microbial food without constant reapplication. But there's a catch. Raw rice doesn't produce visible results quickly. If you're an impatient gardener like me, waiting months to see change can be frustrating. That's where cooked rice comes in. Now here's the exciting part. Cooked rice is soft, broken down, and easily digestible. When you add it to your soil, microbes swarm to it like kids at a candy shop. Within days, you'll see signs of increased soil life. The soil will feel warmer due to microbial activity. Worms and tiny soil creatures will gather around the rice spots. Organic matter in the area will break down faster. Cooked rice is like an energy drink for your soil. It wakes everything up almost instantly. Gardeners who've tried this often report seeing noticeable differences in plant vigor within a week or two, something that would normally take months to achieve. The downside? Cooked rice decomposes quickly, so its effects don't last as long. You'll need to reapply if you want to maintain the microbial party. Alright, let's get practical. Here's how you can test this in your own garden using both raw and cooked rice. Step 1. Decide your goal. If you're looking for long-term microbial support, go for raw rice. If you want a quick soil boost before planting or during an active growth phase, cooked rice will give you faster results. Okay, so step 2 is all about the application method. For raw rice, you just want to scatter a handful directly into your planting holes, or you can bury small pockets of it around your garden bed. Be sure it's at least 2 to 3 inches deep, to prevent attracting rodents or birds. Now for cooked rice, just mix a small portion, about a cup, right into your compost pile, raised bed, or container soil. And don't forget to cover it well with soil or mulch to keep pests away. Step 3 is to observe the changes. Within just a few days of adding cooked rice, you'll probably notice a difference. The soil might become darker, looser, and more crumbly, which is a sure sign that microbes and worms are really doing their job. With raw rice, the changes are a bit slower, but after about a month or so, you'll have a more resilient and balanced soil system. When I tested cooked rice in my tomato bed, honestly, I was blown away. Just 4 days after burying small clumps of rice, I noticed worms gathering in those spots. And about a week later, the plants looked greener, and their growth had visibly accelerated. With raw rice, I saw more subtle but steady improvements. The soil retained moisture better, and weeds were easier to pull because the soil structure was looser. It really reminded me of the power of patience. The raw rice was building a strong foundation for the long haul. Here's the real Soilpower trick. Don't choose one. Use both. By combining raw and cooked rice, you get the immediate boost of microbial activity plus the long-term benefits of slow decomposition. Think of it like feeding your soil a balanced diet. The cooked rice is the quick snack, while the raw rice is the wholesome meal that sustains microbes over time. When I started layering both in my compost pile, the transformation was unreal. The pile heated up faster, broke down more completely, and produced rich, earthy compost in record time. Won't rice attract pests? Yeah, it can, if left exposed. Always bury rice at least 2 to 3 inches deep or cover it with mulch to prevent rodents and ants from finding it. Can rice introduce bad bacteria? Well, cooked rice can harbor bacteria if left out too long in humid conditions. That's why you should bury it quickly after cooking. It becomes safe food for microbes instead of harmful pathogens. So, what if I add too much rice? Well, moderation is key here. Overloading your soil with rice can, temporarily upset the microbial balance. It's best to start small, observe the results, and adjust gradually. Rice, whether raw or cooked, is honestly one of the simplest, cheapest, and most effective tools you can use to boost soil microbes. Raw rice gives a steady, long-term food source, while cooked rice creates an instant microbial explosion that gets results in days, not months. By combining both, you'll create a living soil system that feeds your plants naturally and keeps your garden thriving season after season. If you've been relying solely on compost or fertilizers, it's probably time to experiment with rice. This little trick can unlock massive growth and healthier soil life almost overnight. And the best part? You probably already have rice in your kitchen, which means you can start today. I'd love to hear how this works in your garden. Have you tried raw rice, cooked rice, or both? Share your experience in the comments. I'm always eager to learn from fellow gardeners. And if you found this article helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Soilpower and share this.